I'd like to give you a macro landscape. I'm glad our audience is very, very positive. Asia's come through crisis before and emerged stronger than ever. We have reason to believe that they can do so again. Asian companies operate in a highly dynamic, fast-growing markets against the backdrop of rapidly growing middle-class population. Of course, the region has geopolitical risks that could weigh on growth. Growth in Asia will be fueled by a wide range of industries. The dominant demand drivers for office in particular will remain to be technology and other professional services firms such as finance, real estate, and law firms. It is important to understand the various sectors as they have different requirements from the new environment. In technology, for example, while some of the international companies such as Facebook, they have announced that as many as half of their employees would work from home, the case in Asia is a little bit different. The younger cohort that make up a significant portion of the technology and the BPO sector in the Philippines, they see the office as an extension of their homes. However, it's a different story for the professional services companies. Many are expected to follow a hybrid model of remote and in-person office work, coming in for on-site trainings, for example, critical meetings and culture building exercises. Now, as global growth will remain subdued, cost discipline will remain an imperative. Building owners and tenants will seek to manage operational costs, evade high fit-out expenses, and exert prudent control over capital expenditures, or what we call as CapEx. So how will real estate evolve? With the rise of remote working and the growing reliance on digital collaboration, the modern office can feel a lot less social. In a flexible workspace, employees can work from different areas based on the type of work instead of remaining tied to their desks. Agile workspace that can be used for multiple purposes creates social, collaborative areas in the office. The densification or a reduction in high workforce concentration is necessary to ensure the safety of the occupants or the occupiers. It's critical to identify congregation points or areas where social distancing measures should be implemented. Employees will be increasingly allowed to work from home, where they're most productive, actually anywhere they feel most productive. These changes will be associated with a different leadership style, one that focuses on outcomes rather than on the time spent inside the office. However, a major part of households in Asia live with extended families, often in smaller apartments, and so this can actually be a challenge. This focus on cost discipline will continue to lift demand for suburban locations. The densification that we have been seeing in some high-cost locations like Singapore and Hong Kong, they're expected to be reinforced. Companies could continue to place some client-facing functions in downtown and have the secondary offices in more cost-effective locations. Globally, the current COVID-19 restrictions have accelerated demand for digital solutions that enable companies to provide a safe working environment for their employees, so they feel comfortable going back to the office. But this reliance on technology has already been growing pre-COVID with the use of remote monitoring systems for a growing number of buildings. Now, with employee safety and well-being as a top priority, smart sensors are providing a host of valuable information to monitor building performance and flag any unfolding issues to off-site teams. Contactless technology has also turned into a key requirement for workplaces. Replacing common contact points with touch-free options removes areas where the virus may linger, protecting staff and operationally reducing the number of surfaces which need to be cleaned regularly. While e-commerce has gained so much traction during this lockdown, let me just put this into context. Offline retail sales penetration is still relatively low in many of the Asian markets like the Philippines. And this is true because of going to the mall is actually part of the Asian culture. So we would say offline retail is not dead. Now, tools for the digital workspace, such as video conferencing, virtual meeting technologies, instant messaging, and project management apps, they will remain an important component of the modern office. Workplace data that monitor occupancy levels collected via like your swipe cards, network usage, among others, they will remain crucial. This information or the data sets that can help create, that are collected can help create meaningful analytics and inform companies on how to host social distancing measures in their workplace. Virtual tours, they are rapidly gaining traction during these lockdown times and could become a mainstay for the commercial real estate whole process. Virtual tools like the drones and Google Street View footage to the widely adapted Matterport 3D technology, they're being used now in the early stages of the buying or leasing process to help identify opportunities worth pursuing. Now, with technology, there is a greater impetus today to create initiatives to monitor and track data and utilize them to effectively improve building operations, service, and quality of the occupants. Now, aside from the extensive use of the technology in the workplace, there will be a laser focus on the health and wellness of employees, tenants, and or visitors. So the building management will need to pursue a range of tactical and strategic activities to drive maximum workplace performance. So companies trying to hire the best and the brightest will continue to rely and use sustainable workplaces to boost their sense of purpose and value. This can include retrofitting older offices to meet sustainability goals or starting from the ground up. So let me end with this final slide. In summary, Asia Pacific will remain on a growth track and present a ton of opportunities for real estate. But the challenge for all of us in this business is that we have to make sure that our built environment over the next few years will be efficient, safe, smart, healthy, and sustainable. Thank you.
We architects are what we call service providers, and we will provide what we call intangible services, same as Christine and Sigrid and the rest of the consultancy team. And the way we're chosen is based on a promise that we will deliver a good job, a promise that we will deliver a service that will make our clients successful. And success, however they define success, each client will have its own definition of what success is. And the notion before of people like us architects is that we are consultants. We're chosen because of our technical expertise and our reliability. But the challenge for us in normal times, and more importantly during crisis situation, is how do we elevate ourselves from a consultant into an advisor to our client. And because when we talk about consultancy, we talk about competence. When we talk about advisor, it's about being in a position of trust, and that we become a trusted advisor to the people we work with, both internally and externally. All right, so I talk about trust, and in our company, trust is defined in a simple formula. So trust is about competence and reliability. I mentioned that as a consultant, we need to provide that. But being an advisor involves intimacy. Intimacy meaning that we become close to our clients and make sure that they are comfortable disclosing to us problems and issues so that we provide solutions for them. It also has a lot to do with lessening self-interest. So that's why this simple formula, which we call the trust formula in the office, is about competence, reliability times intimacy all over self-interest. And in our firm, our vision statement is we are a firm that connects, innovates, and transforms in everything we do. And putting it in action items, in an action form, it has something to do with how we communicate, how we deliver our service, and how we provide the design that is appropriate for a particular client and a particular project. Communication to us was very important during the pandemic. It's still important now as we go through the post-pandemic situation. The important thing for us is to let our clients know what we think and how we could best advise them so that they can continue with their business and continue to be successful in whatever they're doing. So this is an example of a Facebook post that we did. It was done in a different way, where it is animated. It talks about our values, and at the same time, it talks about something that is positive and something that relate to them, the energy and the commitment that we are giving to them as clients of the firm. Now, connecting also has to do with internal relationships. Pre-COVID, we were so busy that people hardly had the time to talk. COVID situation, there's no chance to do face-to-face. So connection internally was very important to us, and it still is. We are now talking and communicating very regularly, almost every day, as a management team and as an organization. We make sure that we connect, we create activities together, even though we don't see each other face to face. And this is the same connection that we have with our clients. We regularly talk to them, even if it's done virtually. Now, also strategies on how we communicate with client. The important thing is for them to reassure us, for us to reassure them that we haven't stopped. In fact, that is one of the things that clients have gave us as a feedback, that they didn't feel that we stopped during the pandemic, that we remain connected, and they feel that projects are moving even though we are in a work from home situation. And of course, developing relationships doesn't stop with the pandemic. So finding creative ways on how we connect is important through virtual means. And that is done through a series of communication activities that educate and advise clients, even though they are not our existing clients, to educate them on how to deal with this situation. Innovation is another leg of our action plan, and digital transformation, as what Sigrid and Christine mentioned, plays a vital role. Since we cannot present face-to-face and we cannot collaborate face-to-face, we should have the ability to provide technology for us to continue collaborating and to adjust our processes, such as what you see here. This is a screenshot of a digital whiteboard that we use to collaborate internally and with clients. Different way of doing a project, but most clients appreciate this, and they like the fact that even digitally we're able to collaborate. Making the project live 24/7 is important. So part of digital transformation is to make sure that projects are accessible anytime, any day. The thing about this digital, this pandemic and transforming digitally is that clients now have time, and so they are able to focus on looking at projects. But projects have to be available anytime, anywhere. The tools that we have enabled our clients to actively be involved in projects, even if they are not there or in their offices, even if they're at home, as long as they have connectivity. And one of the other innovations that we created as a firm is to use virtual reality in the form of using Oculus Lens and the cave that we have in the office, and making sure that the experience is better than face-to-face, that this is an immersive experience that allows us to collaborate and to experience projects better. Most clients like this. They like the idea of seeing projects in almost one-to-one scale in reality, and having the ability to control the way they navigate inside projects. In a nutshell, innovation has a lot to do with maintaining a creative and collaborative process, but doing it digitally, making it cost-effective, making it time-efficient, and making sure that don't lose the spirit of collaboration and creativity, regardless of what the medium is. And the last is transformation. We have to transform the way we deliver design work and the way we look at design. We do a lot of commercial work, so our designs are mostly about user experience, branding, making sure that financially a project works. Now, all of that has been overtaken by health and wellness. So whatever we do now, clients ask us a lot about how wellness can be integrated in design. Even for projects that are already on construction stage, we have to in some cases redesign or reconfigure or fine-tune the design so that it has a wellness aspect to it, something that wasn't as important pre-pandemic. And talking about our practice, we had to drive and redefine and make our culture clear to everyone so that it is a culture that is transparent internally, that is service-oriented or customer-centric, collaborative, and something that can resonate well to clients. So culture to us was important. As we went through the pandemic, we had many workshops on culture and how we redefine that, about our strategy as a business. Where do we want to take the business now that COVID has taken place? And also how we can depart from just a design firm and transform the business into a design and technology practice that will allow us to deliver good design work in a very efficient way to our stakeholders, especially to our clients. So, talking about the pandemic, we believe that any crisis situation has its challenges, but it also provides opportunities. The important thing is for us to look at the 4 P's of our organization: people, process, product, and practice, and see how we could apply the 5 R's, which is the reset, refocus, redefine, reshape, and renew, so that we can set ourselves a better normal, not only for our own practice, but equally important to make sure that we continue to provide successful service to our clients. And hopefully, as we get better in this, the long-term call sign of our company is to create a better future for everyone, or is a future that not only creates a livable, healthy environment, at the same time create success for both our clients and our practice. So the last slide is about a challenge and a question to all of us. Are we setting up ourselves just to survive? Or are we setting up our clients just for them to survive? Or are we taking the next step and elevating our service so that we can advise our clients to thrive and for our own practices to thrive in these trying times?
So at this time, when we're in this COVID period, we really have a chance to rethink workplace. And we have a lot of people in very much concerned with their health, with what they can do to take care of one another. Let's prioritize that in the way that we design, in a way that we've been doing for some time, but let's do it with urgency. And it's another time when you start to think about what is the office, and our speakers have shared, I think Sigrid was sharing, how the office is beginning to change now that people can work from home. But the office continues to be a tool as well as to hold the tools for getting our work done efficiently, but doing that in a way that augments it by meeting our human needs, connecting us to nature, helping us collaborate, strengthening our culture, as Jojo mentioned, bringing us together. So that is where we're looking at the workplace of the future. And there are many things that we're doing to improve our work environments. We do quite a lot on our own environments. We have 22 offices globally, and every single one of them is working locally to find solutions. Very tangible ones. We're adding filtration and versatility and healthy materials, but it's the intangible ones that we really need to think about. The quality of sound, light, air, and the way that you go through space and are empowered in space. So again, looking at how to uncover those invisible elements has never been more important. Knowing where and how you might combat pathogens, and knowing what types of light, what qualities, what colors, what types of movement of air, what types of nutrition, water quality, all of those elements. Here are some of the elements of the WELL standard that we integrated in Shanghai and in one of the very first projects to implement this. But we do this in every project because it's about taking care of people, and making those invisible items visible is a way that you can look at your own spaces and begin to really improve them. So one of the areas that we're going to focus on here is mind and design. This is an area of research that we've been doing at Moser for some time now. And what we're really looking at, if you can see in the lower corner, is understanding how does our brain work. And right now, in this period of COVID, there is a lot of fear, stress, anxiety, and our amygdala brain is in flight or flight, and we are actually hurting and getting in the way of our own immunity. So we have the opportunity to create spaces filled with biophilia, with light, with energy, versatility, which help to reduce that stress and let us do our most creative work in our best way possible through the design of our spaces. And these are some of the tools that we work with. Biophilia, absolutely critical. We've actually tested it, and people have found around the world in many different types of research the impact that biophilia has on your concentration, your stress reduction, and your overall well-being and performance. Additionally, light. As an architect, light is one of our very best friends. We work with optimizing daylight because for our human body, we really need that circadian rhythm to be enhanced. But to do any type of work, if we can have that natural light, as well as to reduce our reliance on electric lights so that we can take care of the planet while we're taking care of people. And one of the areas that I'd really like to emphasize for all of you to think about is versatility and movement. Even today, I'm standing as I speak to you. If you can find ways to incorporate movement in your life in every day, you will oxygenate your brain, you will incorporate a greater opportunity for creativity. And as you change your location, you change your state, you change your way of thinking, you change your perspective, and more things are possible. Additionally, this is our New York office. You can see we make everything versatile. Everything's on wheels, from the green walls to the furniture, and this has been very convenient right now when we've repurposed the entire office, moved everything around to minimize the numbers, to meet the requirements for social distancing, and actually to enhance our amount of biophilia. Again, testing solutions on our own offices so that we're ready as we're helping our clients to re-enter the workplace. This is our Hong Kong office, which has been a complete study in how do we maximize the implementation of health and well-being in space so that we can be our most productive. And we have pushed it to the limits, whether it's platinum beam or platinum well or LEED or plastic-free. These are the areas that we're looking at to create a very exciting environment which serves people and serves our clients and serves our in community to really be their best. And these are some snapshots from the office to just show you a few ideas about it. But if you look at, again, incorporating movement, it's wonderful you can have some actual physical movement like these TRX and boxing, but it can be quite simple as well. But the idea of getting people moving is very connected to how we think. And right now, creativity is one of the most important elements for any business to thrive. And to overcome the current pandemic is to be creative and think outside of the box. And you've got to be moving. You've got to have healthy air and healthy environment. Of course, daylight again. And these are another spaces where you can see we've changed desks into lounge areas. We have greenery. We have people sitting and standing and views. These are the same principles that we work with our clients to create new ways of working. And we've been doing this for decades, but now more than ever, we have an opportunity where there's a focus on health, and we really get to push that forward together. And this is, I think, quite interesting. As I mentioned, you may not have a rowing machine in your office, but you could simply have something that you balance on, or a board that gives you micro movements, which give you increased vigor and energy, help your lymphatic system, and keep you at the top of your game. Now I'm going to show you a few different scales because we've been just looking at the individual tenant sort of single office, but you can take this to the whole size of a human-centric laboratory. As long as somewhere in that space, people can come together, can connect to nature, can be beyond themselves with natural light, can rejuvenate. And that's a critical word, rejuvenate. That helps us to reduce and heal during the day multiple times to reduce our stress and to help all of these businesses and all individuals to continue to improve and do their best. Now here you can see even in high rises, and we all love, to look at how does that high rise work? Maybe we have one floor, but what if we have the entire building. We look at carving areas, atriums, spaces where people can come for repose, for that rejuvenation, where our stress levels can reduce. We can get out of that amygdala zone and into a natural environment, find that peace, and then get back to work in the way that we want to. This is a larger scale where you have an entire campus, which is an inside-outside campus where we design the outside spaces and the inside spaces to be working environments. And the lower space you can see has actually got no glass because those people can be eating in that zone and there's natural ventilation. So it was prepared already for pandemic and for health in order to just keep people at their optimal and keep these environments odor-free and keep that air moving, which is very important. Again, looking at the campus scale in a more urban environment, this project is almost completed. And it's a gift back to the city with a campus courtyard in the center, which anybody can walk through. But on top of that, throughout the building, and some of it is we've revitalized, some of them are new buildings, all of them have a look back at this garden and connect to nature, and they also connect to the city. And they keep people as part of the community. So it's about taking care of ourselves so that we can be our best, but taking care of our businesses and our communities and ultimately of one another globally. And if we take this to the level of a multi-story area, this is a project in Singapore actually, which has multi-floors, and you can see the staircase, which is made out of wood, which is also a place to sit and chat with people and a place to bring everybody together. And right now, we're keeping some distance when we come together, of course, but in the future and in the past and soon to be, we will be coming together again to be doing our best work and brainstorming, and we're ready with these areas that have jungle zones and sky view zones together. And again, this is a collage for you because there's just so much to share and we're getting near the end. But the upper corner just shows some implementation there in our Hong Kong office, which is photographed to the right, showing all the filtration, the way that we measure air. We're measuring everything so that we can be, even at a very, very high level, we're still looking at how can we continually improve and raise the bar for everything going forward. Because as architects, we really need to be relentless in the design of spaces that heal, spaces that inspire and empower everybody. In the lower corner, you can see a meditation space where, is giving people a place where they can go to repose, but it's through the design of it that you already start to get there. And on the lower right, you can see some of the biophilia that's come into our New York office, which is also a place of repose. And great work. We haven't lost a step. Just as we were speaking about before and the Jojo was sharing, it's about how do you take care of your clients and your employees, but doing it through your design, through the space, the workplace itself as a tool for your best jobs ever. And I think that we just have to do this collectively. Again, everybody's involved, from the clients to the construction team, to the designers, to the users. It takes all of us to really implement this. And right now, when we have this pause globally and a rethink of what does the workplace look like, this is an amazing time to put health, mental well-being, and high performance at the forefront.